the halftime message?
I basically told them, I went back and told them the message I've been talking about since I got here. How, this is a 60-minute game, and how many times last year they didn't show up in the second half. And I said, look, I hate to give you the bad news, fellas, but you're actually leading in this game. Because sometimes, because of the way things go, they get down. And I said, hey, fellas, we're trying to turn this team into a team that's going to play 60 hard minutes. Now, we need to come out and make some plays in the second half, and there's going to be some ups and downs in that too. But I think the whole motif and message that we've been stressing all along was to play hard for 60 minutes, and that's basically what we got.
What did you think about the effort, and what did you think about the performance?
I thought the effort was good. The performance, I thought, had highs and lows. But as a coach, this is utopia. It really is. It's utopia. Because what's going to happen is the guys are going to go out and enjoy themselves tonight. It's been a while. It's been a while. I mean, you want them to be with their families and friends and kind of have fun. But on the flip side, there'll be so many things on the tape where you look and say, what are we doing? And that'll be true across the board. It'll be true on offense and defense and special teams. And as a coach, there's no better environment than to be able to constructively criticize your players after a win, because they're so much more open to it. They listen to you. So we should be able to, make some major strides this week, because they're happy for the first time in a long, long time.
They managed to move the ball a little bit on the defense a little bit, but they came with some big plays, some takeaways. Can you comment on that a little bit? Yeah,
I think the turnovers, were usually you win the turnover ratio, usually win the game. I mean, it's the number one stat in football. People used to talk about rushing offense and rushing defense. Turnovers is usually the most glaring statistic between winning and losing. And I think that, that's a good start. A good start for our defense. We turned it over twice on offense. I was okay with Dane laying that up right there. He shouldn't have been getting hit in the face. But if you're taking a shot, take the shot. I mean, you're going for it on fourth down. You're going for it on fourth down. If they don't intercept the ball, it's right there. So I think that Taylor had that one where he laid on the ground, but with the number of turnovers by defense, it really made a big difference in the game.
I know it's only one game that you've coached so far, but from the game film you saw in Bradley McDougald and what you saw in him this evening, did you see a big transformation in his game today?
I've been tooting his horn for a while now. I mean, this is not a news flash about my feelings toward Bradley McDougald. I think that he's as good a player as we have on the team, maybe the best. And when you have to play that way now. And he was all over the place tonight. I mean, he played like a frontline safety, and I think that he has the capability of being one.
What specifically did you see from Dane that maybe suggested that he was a little bit anxious tonight?
Well, I mean, like we threw that one post, that one post in the red zone that's a gimme touchdown. I mean, I could complete that pass, But you overthrew him a little bit. But I think that he wasn't trying to do too much, But there was a lot of little things in the passing game that didn't. Now they're bringing heat, and they brought a lot of it in the game. They brought a lot of pressure in the game. So, I think that we were a little off on a number of things. But when you look at it, you think it's all the quarterback's fault. You don't realize when somebody's not running the right route, or we had a screen pass called one time where one of our young men was running an entirely different play. So he came off the field after the pass. I said, "What were you doing?" And he honestly told me he was running a different play because they sound alike. The two plays sound alike. So in the passing game, all the focus goes on the quarterback. But you know what? Remember now, this is a kid who hadn't played in a year. He gets pulled at halftime of his first game last year and really didn't play again. So I think that this was a good game for him. This was a good game for him to get out of the way And I think that, I think he'll just get better and better each week.
Do you do anything?
99-yard run happened, where was the breakdown here?
We had two guys both flow to the outside, and one of them was supposed to be the inside, and one of them was supposed to. I happened to ask the same question, Tom, to be honest with you, because I turned around. Usually at the start of drives, I'll miss the first, beginning of drives because I want to make sure I correct the quarterback and make sure the offense knows what we're going to do to start the next drive. So, I see him pinned back. I'm expecting we're going to get good field position. So I'm already laying out the plan as if we're going to get the ball in plus territory. And next thing you know, I hear a roar and I turn around and then I see that guy right in front of my face, taking it to the house. So I actually asked the same question. And we had two guys float to the outside. One was supposed to be inside, and one was supposed to be out.
When you talk about the anxieties of Dane today, do you do anything different this week, or do you say anything to him to try to calm him down, or do you just kind of let those jitters work out?
No, I think that the jitters work out. I think going out there and getting hit. Hey, look, I didn't want the one sack that we gave up from, when they beat Tanner around the left edge. But it's actually good that he gets hit a couple of times. You've been injured a whole bunch, and sometimes quarterbacks get a little gun shy, but that certainly wasn't his case tonight. I think that was a good first step for him.
You
You talked a lot about Tony's touches.
Well, I'll get you both. Go ahead.
You talked a lot about Tony's touches, and I think obviously 15 is not a hard and fast number, but he had 11 or 12 after the first quarter. Were you surprised how much you were working him early?
Well, no, I had Reggie on we were on a pitch count.
Okay.
So I knew where we were. I was confident. What do you end up with, 17?
Yeah, 20.
20.
20, yeah.
Okay, well, the game was close.
Right.
So, I was, but then, it wasn't like Taylor only had 10 touches there.
Right.
When you run the ball 48 times or whatever it was, sometimes you're going to go a little bit over on a couple of those numbers. I mean, we ran it a lot.
We spent the whole offseason reading about and hearing about how bad the defense was a year ago. To break that first 99-yard run. How do you think they played after that? What did you think about their execution and effort?
Well, really, in the first half, that's about the only big legitimate play they gave up. I think there were a couple times in zone coverage that there were guys running open down the middle of the field. That when you play in zone coverage, you shouldn't, be able to get somebody that open. They made a catch on one of them, but there were a couple other times, that there were people open there. But I think that, as you get different combination routes and people start to see things, I think, most of these guys are relatively inexperienced. Even Ben, who's starting at middle linebacker, I mean, how much linebackers he played? So I mean, I think that the more these guys see these things and experience them, the better off they'll be. But you're right. I mean, I could, think of the biggest plays being a long run and that one seam ball, but when they hit the guy down the middle of the field and split safety coverage.
What made the run game so effective tonight?
Well, I mean, I think that we have pretty good players that play that position. That's a good start. And the offensive line and tight ends, the combination of those guys, and with help from the wide receivers on the edge too. The whole time we've been here, we've been talking about becoming a tougher team. We have to be tougher. And one way you get tougher is by keep dialing up those runs and, not be afraid to keep calling.
Coach, you used several different personnel groupings on the right side of the offensive line. It looked like, did you anticipate that going in, or was that an on-the-fly thing?
No, that's, I think I said that was exactly what we were planning on doing. I said that you can expect to see the center, left guard, left tackle stay pretty solid, and you'll see 4 guys playing over there on the right side. And actually, the guy I was, now I have to wait till I see the tape. The guy who played the least that I was happy with the most actually was Riley Spencer, because he actually, remember coming off of getting a little tweak in the knee and he missed a bunch of time. And from when he was out there, like I said, I have to wait till I see the tape, but I was generally encouraged by some of the things I saw him do.
You opened with a 43-yard pass. How long did you have that play and knew that you were going to open with it?
I was throwing it deep on the first play for months. Okay. I mean, I'm trying to please the fans. No, in reality, I was trying to score, is what we were trying to do. Their number one coverage, they didn't play on that play. They actually brought a weak corner blitz on the first play right off the bat. And we had a protection where we could pick that up. So, you know, Kale was the first option and Damon was the second option on the play. We picked it up and that was a good way to start. But I mean, once you get to know me, you'll kind of figure if, you know, he's throwing it deep, you know, which I did.
Were you surprised when they brought Sumner in?
Yeah, I was a little surprised. You know, I was a little surprised, but the one thing you do know, when he was coming in to throw. I mean, he wasn't coming in to run the whole offense. He was coming in, and to be honest with you, you got to give the kid a lot of credit because he actually threw the ball, you know, pretty well for being banged up, whether it's thumb or whatever it was. I think he actually threw the ball pretty well.
Where did you see that mid running left a better option?
Pardon me?
Where did you see that mid running left a better option?
Fifth-year senior, next to another fifth-year senior, next to another fifth-year senior. That's what I saw over there on the left. I kind of like that. Hey, look, I'm not smart, but I'm not dumb either. You know?
Coach, your two linebackers, Tharp and Heaney, can you just talk about them a little bit? And what did you see in Ben early throughout the preseason?
They're very, very active. You know, and you know, I don't know how many tackles they're in on, but it had to be a bunch of them. You know, they're very active, and both of them, even though one plays Mike and one plays Will, you know, both of them are kind of sideline to sideline players. A lot of times with linebackers, you get what we call phone booth players, you know, that are tackle to tackle guys. But these guys both have enough athleticism to play, you know, play both inside and outside.
Coach, could you comment on this new tradition you're getting started here with the alma mater and the student section? That seemed to
I was generally very pleased. You know, that there was enough students there and the band came out there, and being over there for that, that's what I'm hoping for. You know, and it'll just get better. But for the first rattle out of the box, you know, that was a pretty good start. I mean, if you looked at our players, they were genuinely had joy in their face. And then you looked at the student body. I mean, they enjoyed being you know, connected with the football players. You know, I think the band, you know, some of the tuba players might be mad because they're still coming out of the stands. I mean, when they started playing right there, but you know, I thought it was a good start. It was a pretty good experience.
Is that a win or lose tradition?
Pardon me?
Is that a win or lose tradition?
Yes, it is, as a matter of fact. It's pretty rough when you lose too. But I mean, I don't think you can be hypocritical. Now, the problem is you lose, you might go over there, it might not be anyone you're singing with. Okay, but I don't think, like I said, I don't think you can be hypocritical. I think if you're gonna do it, you know, you should be doing it no matter what. That's why I keep on encouraging students to be around there for it, because it makes it that much better.
You've been really active in that. What did you think of the atmosphere at Memorial Stadium for your first regular season game?
I think that the only time it got quiet was deservedly slow, because I thought that there were periods in the game we were flat. And like I said to the players on the sideline, they tell us, you got to create the juice now. I mean, because there were times it was really loud and the fans were going nuts, and there were times it was really quiet. And usually those quiet times were directly related to how we were playing. So, and I let them know that on the sideline. I said, when that happens, you have to create it. You're the ones who have to get them into the game. You have to give them a reason to make. You have to give them a reason to make moves.
How will you fix the mistakes between Dane and the receivers?
Pardon me?
How will you fix the mistakes between Dane and the receivers?
Well, let me think. I think the most important thing that they're going to need to do is visualize what they did wrong. I think that right now, they kind of know when they make a mental error. Okay, but they won't know, I was too short on this route, because right now it's the furthest thing from their mind. But tomorrow, when you can watch tape and sit there and say, hey, I should have done this, or hey, I should have done that, and sometimes it's just a crummy throw. Okay, so I think that the more you work with guys over and over again, you know, the better that, the word isn't, you know, the better the fit, you know, they have to fit together. And I think that we have to keep working on that fit.
Coach, taking nothing away from South Dakota State, 14-point win. Do you feel like, I mean, and it's maybe a little repetitive, but do you feel like this game should have been a lot more than what it was? I know the missed opportunities and turnovers, etc.
Well, I thought that we didn't do very well in the red zone, especially early in the game. Because I thought early in the game we could have created a lot of distance in the game early. You know, and I think that we spit the bit, you know, early in the game, and I think that kept the game the way it was. But, you know, this is also a great learning experience, and, you know, because I'm never happy, you know, I'm never happy with how the game turns out. You know, would I have liked to win by more? You betcha I would have. So I'd lie if I told you that wasn't the case. But the way it played out gave us a lot of opportunities during the game to grow, because the number one thing I've been talking about was playing hard for 60 minutes. Now, it was far from a thing of beauty now. Okay, but I think it's a good start. And I really do, I think it's a good start.